Hello there, this is Post TV Media, a platform where we discuss football related matters, and I promise you in our last episode that we're going to cover the front line for Manchester United Football Club. Let us look at the front three of Manchester United. We are looking at Rushford, we are looking at Anton Marshall, we are looking at inghalo now, we are looking at Greenwood. These are the strikers that we are looking at, the front three for Manchester United. Let us look at the strengths and weaknesses of these players and whether Manchester United will do better with other additions in the front line. When we look at Rushford, when you look at what he has done this season, it is incredible. If it wasn't for the injury, I think he would have gone to 31 goals in a season, which is quite remarkable for a young player or any other player for that matter. We have seen even the very best like Henry, Shearer, we have seen Andy Cole. We have seen the very best of these players have gone 31 goals, others 33, 32, somewhere there. So if he did 31 goals, you cannot ask anything more than that from him. So we saw that the form of Rushford was very brilliant towards the end of the first half of the season. Unfortunately, he got injured. So do we need a person in the place of Rushford? Certainly not, but we need someone who can back him up. Of course, Rushford is number one for Manchester United as a striker. I know many people think Anton Marshall is more talented than Rushford. But again, football is not just about talent, it's also about results, about your input. It's also about what you are able to get out of a player. A player can be the most talented but still not achieve their full potential. We have so many players who history has recorded to say, no, this one will be the next Paul Gascoigne, this one will be the next Ronaldo, this one will be the next what. But those people have not materialized. Let's look at James Milner, for instance, for Liverpool. Many people thought that James Milner would be one of the best players that you can talk about in this generation. But has he really gone to that level that many had hoped to? Not at all. We look at few Walcott. Look at Walcott. Ericsson took Walcott at the age of almost 16, if I'm not mistaken. Immediately Arsenal got him from Southampton. They were hoping that he would be one of the greats of this time. But has he really materialized? He has not. So the fact that most people think that Anton Marshall is more talented than Rushford does not mean that he's a better player than Rushford. I think Rushford has given Manchester more than Anton Marshall has given them. So where does Rushford need to improve? Is he perfect? No, it's not perfect. Where does he need to improve? We know that he needs to do more with his shooting abilities. Of course, he's not scared to shoot from any position. He can shoot outside the box, can shoot inside the box, can come from the outside, go in the middle. That is his preferred position, though he previously was used as number 9, which was a misplacement for him, and that is why we didn't get the best out of him. But put him in that position, he can challenge any person in that position. Of course, he needs to improve in terms of his finishing, the last touches, but at the moment I can give him 90 out of 100. He just needs that 10 extra percent for him to be one of the best players that we can talk about in this time. So he's brilliant in that position. Yes, he needs help. He needs someone that will be pushing him. Let's look at Anton Marshall. We have for many seasons waited for Anton Marshall to reach his peak, more like what we did for Jones. Because Ferguson believed that Jones would be one of the best defenders in the world. Has he really come out to be one of the best defenders in the world? Not at all. So the fact that a player possesses talent doesn't mean that it will translate into something. This is a case of Anthony Martial. Most people think that he's so talented and he'll be one of the best players in the world. But can he really be one of the best players? Personally, I doubt that. There are so many aspects of football, that are lacking from Anthony Martial. One of them is aggression. Number two is involvement, game involvement. Anthony Martial prefers to play like a star, the way stars would play, where they are waiting for a pass, they are waiting for everything. Everyone has to do everything for them. They give them the ball, then they finish it. That is what he does. That's how he plays his football. Now, I would say that is fine for him if he's playing number 9 and he's able to finish the pass when it's given unto him. It converts into a goal. I would say that is fine for him. But is he able to really convert those passes that are given to him like a major star would do? Not at all. His finishing is very poor, because out of every 6 shots, he might score 1. That is not good enough. Then, when he loses the ball, he doesn't go for it, to fight for it, to get it. Once he loses the ball, then someone else has to get the ball for him and give it back to him again. Is that how we want our players to be playing? No. If he was a typical number 9 or a natural number 9, the way we had Vanessa Roy, the way we had Bebatov, the way we had, the way now Edwin Agaro is, if he was that kind of player who position themselves properly, and when they receive a touch, they will score, it's different. You'd say yes. But there are aspects of football, the game, that Anthony Martial is missing. And one of them is his ability to get involved in the game. He usually waits for others to do the hard work. They give them pass. Then his finishing is very poor. So Anthony Martial, if I were the coach, I'll give him as a backup for the main striker that we should have. Because normally, we have seen in the past when Rushford has been injured that you cannot really rely on Martial in terms of serious games and in terms of goals, because his output is very, very poor. We have struggled since Rushford was injured, rarely scoring, until we had Bruno Fernandes on board. That is when the whole team was improved every aspect, and you can see that there are those deliverers that are coming out, but still, it's still lacking the finishing touch. We need to have someone that is very clinical, more like the Hurricane type, whereby you know that if you give him, or the Jamie Vardy type, whereby you give him a pass, you know that out of 3 is going to score 1, or out of 2 he will score 1. That is a kind of player. If really he has to be used as number 9, that's the kind of player that he needs to develop himself to. But can he really go to that level? No. He doesn't know how to position himself as a striker. For me, he's more of a winger rather than a central striker, a focal point where people can be concentrating and say, check marks or give him the ball, he's going to score. He's not like that kind of player. So in that position, unless he's playing on the wings, we would say we are comfortable. He can play on the other wings, Rushford on the other wings. Then we can have Iguaro in the middle. That would be perfect for Manchester United. Therefore, I come now to Iguaro, Edwin Garo. The few times he has played, many people didn't give him a chance, but the few times he has played, you have seen that he's controlled the ball. He's excellent. His instincts are excellent. He's a typical striker. You give him a chance, he's going to score a goal. So for me, I would rather, when we resume, or if we are not resuming this season, we're resuming next season, I would rather Edwin Igaro is given the number 9 position. Then we can have Martial this side, Rushford this side, and Martial this side. Then we can have Greenwood trying to force Martial, and we can have also the side maybe anyway, because Greenwood can play both legs, we can have Greenwood and Rushford contesting for the same position, Rushford being number 1. Then we can have Greenwood come in as a super sub, just to see if for any reason Rashford doesn't have a good game, We can put in Greenwood, and Greenwood can make things happen. Then on the other side, we can have Marshall competing with Daniel James. We know that Daniel James, because of his pace, is very aggressive, but Daniel James doesn't possess dribbling skills that can trouble many people. He possesses just speed. So he needs to improve on that aspect where he should be able to dribble. If he's presented with 2-3 opponents, he should be able to dribble, not just run. When he has pace, is second to none. He can cause the opposition a lot of headaches. Can he be number one? Not necessarily. So on the other wing, James and Anton Marshall can comprehend each other. That is, if we are not going to have any additions, do we have them as perfect on their own? They are not perfect, but they can comprehend each other. Well, we can have Marshall start the game. If he doesn't make things happen, we can put in Daniel James and see where we get. So we can have Rushford and Greenwood this side, and we can have, because Greenwood is able to use both legs, and because Rashford prefers playing on the left, it's more deadly there. We can put Marsh on the right, and they can compete with Daniel James. One can start, the other one can come in as a sub, a super sub, and they are, in that way they'll be able to force themselves and push each other to perform. Perhaps then we can obtain something from Anton Marshall that he has not been able to offer this far. Because Marshall performs better when he's competing with someone. I think we saw when he was competing with Lukaku that time before Lukaku was sold, under Mourinho, we saw that he was trying to perform better. So he performs better when there's someone to challenge him in the background. For Edwin Garo, for me, is better positioned to play number 9, so that we are transformed. We are no longer a team that is failing to break other team. We have Bruno Fernandes now. He can chip the ball to Aguero and he can score, even if the midfield is congested. We have also Pogba returning. They are able to pass these killer passes. We lack someone like Aguero. So for me, let us not look at Aguero as second choice or third choice. It should be the main one, the main number 9 that we should center on or focus on. That is, if we are not going to buy someone else, Aguero should be given that position to play number 9. Then you find that we are going to have a deadly striking force like we had with Tevez, Rooney, and Ronaldo. We are going to have this deadly striking force where we are going to have Aguero as the main center. We have Anton Marshall and Rushford this side. If they don't work out, we can put Greenwood, we can put in James this side, and we know that they can cause the opposition a lot of damage. So that is how I would play for me if I were the Manchester United coach. And I hope that when the play returns, or when we resume next season, if we are not playing any games this season, I hope that Solskjaer will look at that. If there are any other coach that will come to Manchester, whoever will be in position to coach Manchester, will look at that and see how well can he improve. These players that we have, we have 6 players competing for these positions, for God's sake, and therefore we should be comfortable. One more additions or 2 additions on the striking force is not a bad thing for Manchester. Can we really perform with these guys? We know that when Daniel James began, and Rushford and Anton Marshall, they were the deadliest attacking force in the league. Everyone feared them. We know that before injuries began to hit Manchester United. So if we can have these maintained and they compete for the positions and push each other, we know that we can do a lot as Manchester United. We can have a striking force that everyone will be scared of. And they will not just be scared, but we shall have results. So for me, I would have Aguero, I would have Rushford. That is if we are not buying any other players. I'll have Rushford, I'll have Aguero, I'll have Anton Marshall there. The mistake that the coach must not make is to put Marshall as a focus. We'll struggle again. We don't want to struggle. We're a bigger team. We should do better. So I want to thank you. Next week, I'll do an episode on the midfield. I want to thank you for watching, and good luck to Manchester United.